Welcome in Science and Magic subscribers. Welcome if you're new to the channel. My name is Amanda Lebec, and I love talking about all things nervous system, feminine energy, and how to work more deliciously. And I've been doing a series of videos lately talking about different aspects of feminine energy in honor of a new program that I'm launching called Nervous System of a Goddess. I'm so excited about this program, about this course. It launches in August 2023, and it's going to be 8 weeks, and there'll be weekly live group calls with me, and then a ton of embodiment practices on the course dashboard for you to practice on your own time. If you are listening to this past that date, I will be evergreening all the content, and it will be available for replay, and you can still purchase the course. So it's going to be all about how to bring feminine energy into the nervous system and express it through the nervous system, rather than learning more with the mind, bringing it into the body. So far, I've explored feminine receptivity. I've explored feminine emotions, the importance of feeling, and feminine poise and feminine power. And I am so excited to talk about feminine playfulness, because I have a hunch that many of you who follow this struggle with expressing feminine playfulness. I think in general, as adults, we don't play enough. But since my channel appeals to a lot of high achievers, a lot of high performers, workaholics, I know that this demographic probably is used to taking life pretty seriously. And this makes sense because taking life seriously has gotten you to where you are at right now. Things like striving and driving and setting goals and conquering those goals and excelling and being serious about life has brought you the success that you currently find. And this is great. We don't want to lose those qualities. But these are masculine qualities, and this is fine if you are someone who has a more masculine essence about them, about their bodies and their energy. But if you have more of a feminine essence, feminine body, you might feel a bit more agitated if these qualities are overexpressed, if you tip more towards that side of the poles, if you spend most of your time really striving in life and trying and driving forward. So it might feel like there's something off a little bit, like, okay, well, I have this success, but I don't quite feel like me, like something's missing. This imbalance can also show up in your romantic life, as you may be more attracted to masculine men, but are expressing masculine qualities when you interact with them, which then you start to compete. A lot of our current work environment also reveres these types of qualities that lead you to success. So it makes sense that you have overemphasized them, especially if you are someone who is a high performer and extremely successful in your career. I looked up some definitions. I love doing that. So the first one is serious. To be serious means to be careful in thought, full of concern, restrained, somber, and grave. Whereas to be playful is full of fun and high spirits. And the definition of fun is enjoyment, amusement, and pleasure. So if you're playful, you're full of enjoyment, amusement, and pleasure. Whereas if you take life really seriously, you're more careful, you're full of concern, you're restrained. Do you see how these are very different energies or different embodiments? So I'm going to talk about 5 different ways you can evoke more playfulness in your essence. And before we get started, please give this video a like. If you listen to my content a lot, this is a beautiful way you can support me, and you can let me know that you like what I'm doing, and it really inspires me to make more. You can leave me a comment. If you're tuning in live, say hi in the chat. Hi, Tess. Thank you for saying hi. And if you want to be notified when I go live, lately I've been doing all my videos live. You can hit the bell, and that will notify you when I go live. So you can pop in and say hi and catch me live and ask questions and interact with me in that way. I love interacting with all of you. So the first one is evoking awe and wonder. Evoking awe. and wonder. And when you think about a state of awe, like when is the last time you felt a state of awe? Typically when we travel somewhere, and we see a beautiful, landscape of nature or something, like, oh, we're watching the sunset over the ocean, or we hike to the top of a mountain and we're looking at the view from the top of the mountain as the mountain tips, peek over the clouds. We're like, wow, life. Or we watch our child say their first word, ah, like, wow, like the amazing growth of human beings and how humans come to life. I know that I felt awe when I heard the heartbeat of my little one inside of me when I was pregnant. I felt complete awe. And we do this through presence. So to evoke a state of awe means to be present with what's around us, and not just present with the mind, but present with the senses. When you are experiencing the sunset, you feel the sun radiating on your face. You feel that infrared light on your cheekbones. You feel the breeze from the ocean flowing through your hair. When you are present with your child, when they say their first words, you hear it. You truly hear the resonance of their little voices. And you are in your body. You're absorbing these things with your body, and it creates this state of wonder. And feminine energy lives in the body. So I've talked about this a lot, that being with the senses is a really powerful way to bring you into your body and to bring you into the present moment. But you can't really evoke awe if you don't have presence. So mindfulness practices really help you to get there. Think of seeing through the eyes of a child. Think of how you were when you were a child. Children are just in awe. And part of this, I have a newborn, and he's starting to become more alert to his environment. So he's just looking around at the world. And I know this will only become more and more pronounced as he gets older and can start to express things. And it's amazing to see things through the eyes of a child again. There's an innocence, a fresh quality, innocence and freshness. And this also takes a lowering of the brainwave frequency. So the speed at which signals move through our brain is called brainwave frequency. It's the speed of electricity. And when we're more alert and more attuned to our external world and more responding to the external world, we're at a higher brainwave frequency. But as we become more internal, more inward, more in our body, more calm, the brainwave frequency lowers. And we can do this through meditation, through breath, through a yoga practice, through walking and scanning our environment. And as the brainwave frequency lowers, it's associated with like higher imaginative states. And that's really where we want to be in when we think of play. We want to find imaginative states. Now, do we want to bring this awe into like a high drive work meeting? Probably not. There's times where you can turn it on or turn it off. But when you're, eating dinner with your family and you're playing with your kids after, or you're going on a date with your partner, like these are times to evoke states of awe and wonder and imagination and play, really. So happy to catch you live. I'm going through my wardrobe to make room for the better. Ooh, you listened to my clear feminine receptivity video, it sounds like. Creating space. I love that. Good for you. Mountains always do it for me. Me too. I haven't been to the mountains in so long, but they just push me into this, like, I don't know if it's a perspective shift, like, whoa, I'm a really small little being on this big planet. Flying in airplanes does the same thing to me too, like just raising up over a city and just looking at the city for what it is. Surfer Girl says, glad to catch this live. Love your energy. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad that you're joining live. Thank you for saying hi, everybody. I do love connecting in this way. So feel what you are seeing and express it through your body sensations. So not just, yes, that will shift your energy to feel through your senses, but then when you're with people, get excited. It's like, oh my gosh, this sunrise is so beautiful. That golden light is saturating on every cell of my skin. It's making me feel tingly. What was I the other day? I was looking at these dandelions, and I love dandelions. I know that they're considered like a weed, but I said, oh, they look like sunshine coming up from the earth. And that's what I felt. I love seeing the color of the green and the yellow, and I love the pattern it creates, even though it's considered a weed. So you can just start to see through fresh eyes. And you do that through presence, you do that through your senses, you do that through expressing, and that creates the state of imagination and play and presence and wonder. The second is a sense of humor. So playfulness, sense of humor, literally laughing, literally smiling, really, really important for play. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of children because children play so naturally. And then as we grow old, we start to lose the ability to play. And I know that children operate in lower brainwave frequency states. And once you hit around the age of 12, your brainwave frequency state is at a higher degree. It's called the beta brainwave frequency, and it's more of the analytical mind. And that's when you start to take life more seriously. And that's important to do as adults for sure. But then if you completely lose your sense of play, then you lose an important aspect of feminine energy, which is that presence, that wonder, and that enjoyment of the moment. So not taking yourself too seriously is really important. Things like if you make a mistake, if you're klutzy, like if you trip over something at the store in front of people and they see you and they don't laugh with you, but so you just feel kind of silly, it's not a big deal, right? Or, yeah, like for me, if I'm recording a video and I stumble over my words, I don't get too down on myself about it. I don't take myself too seriously. I'm a human, and this creates like a lightness, a light quality. Because if you start to get down on yourself, then you're taking that moment with you, and it creates a heavy density in your energy, and you start to ruminate over these things. So don't take yourself too seriously. Not taking what other people say too seriously. Of course, there are times when you're getting feedback about how your actions or your presence are influencing somebody else. There are times to take that and to take it to heart and to hear that and respond accordingly. But in general, like if someone cuts you off in traffic, rather than get worked up in a road rage, just like, oh, they must be like in a rush to get somewhere. Or if someone says something that annoys you or gets under your skin, laugh it off. Just it's not that big of a deal. And it really interferes with your ability to play and feel light. I'm actually going to do a feminine energy video about lightness in being too. You know, there's different qualities of feminine energy. There's feminine, this play is mostly on like that light spectrum, but there's also feminine energy darkness, which is more like watery, deep, shadows, juicy, sensuality, those things. But this is more of on the light spectrum. So I think I'm going to do a video on feminine energy lightness, and I'll probably do it on the darkness too. I don't know why I just got on this tangent about that, but this is like the unbothered, not taking what other people say too seriously, having a sense of humor, like laughing things off, not being so annoyed by everybody. And it's not unbothered in that like sassy, like I'm just an unbothered person. It's like literally being unbothered, like seeing the absurdity of things. So not taking life too seriously too. Like if things don't go your way, don't add more heaviness to it. Don't add more weight to it. Like, let it go, move on, trust that you're in a dance with life, that in a way, you know, karma is playing itself out, and enjoy the dance. Be like, oh, interesting. That spin isn't working for me. I guess I'll do a dip now. And just keep it light, easy, sense of humor about the absurdity of things. And with a sense of humor, literally laugh more. So do what you need to do. Look up your favorite comedian, watch sitcoms that make you laugh, hang out with friends who are funny. But the more that you laugh, it releases all these delicious hormones in your body. And laughing is literally medicine. So laugh, smile, let it come from a genuine place, and just do your best to shift your perspective to be a little bit lighter about the world and your life and others. I planted 80,000 wildflowers at our ranch, and I told my hubby that watching them bloom was like watching a fireworks display in slow motion. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, a fireworks display in slow motion. That's beautiful. 80,000 wildflowers. Oh, so good. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, if anyone else feels like they, what brings you awe and wonder? I'm actually curious about that. If you're tuning in, like what's something that brings you into that state, just being like amazed at life. The third aspect here is to flirt with the world. So when you flirt, you're letting someone know that you're interested in them. And when you flirt with the world, you're showing the world that you are interested in it, that that you're open to receiving it, being penetrated by life. So think of what the embodiment is of flirting. You have a little twinkle in your eye. You have this open, inviting body language, yet you're kind of a little shy, biting the lip, maybe subtle, mischievous smiles. And there's this bashfulness, and also an intrigue. And what if you just walked around like that in a state of flirting? Like there's not someone specific in front of you, but you're just in a perpetual state of flirting with the world. What if you walked into the grocery store just flirty, or you were flirting, go on a nature walk, flirting. So you just bring that energy in and it creates a fun state of playfulness. Brilliant sunsets. I love that. Nature makes me giggle and twirl. Oh, see, giggle and twirl. That sounds very much like young, childlike energy. That's what we want to bring in for this play. Let children be your teachers when it comes to evoking this feminine state of play. Kids, yeah, they giggle, they twirl, they splash, they laugh, they roll. I was actually, one of the things that inspired this video is my mom is 65 years old and she is so good at playing. For example, one of her recent birthdays, what she wanted to do was go ride roller coasters at the amusement park. That's what she wanted to do. And we got in the amusement park and she screamed like a little child and laughed and she had so much fun. And the way that she sees the world and greets the world is one of wonder and zest. And she kicks my butt energy wise. Like she has so much energy, but she also is so amazed by life. She's always like, if something bad happens, she's like, if that's the worst thing I have to deal with, I'm living a pretty good life. She always says, life is amazing. And she has this like young soul feel about her. And she really, really brings this feminine play into her life. And men love her. They love flirting with her and they're intrigued by her. And it's really interesting to watch. Every year she gets a little older, but she still feels like she's frozen in time at times with this energy of play. The next part of this is feeling safe and soft. So I couldn't say any of those other things if this wasn't a part of it, because if you don't feel safe, if you aren't able to move out of survival, you're not going to be in awe or flirt with life if you're running from a wild animal in the woods. Like if you think of a child, if they're scared, they become quiet, they become shut down, they maybe go hide behind their parents' legs. They might start crying, but they're definitely not in awe. They're not giggling and twirling. They're not splashing in water. They're closed down. And that's how we a lot of times get as adults. So a lot of my videos talk about nervous system care, but get support to work through past trauma that you're storing in your body, that you have looping in your brain. I offer a lot of nervous system work one-on-one with clients. I have a lot of programs about it. I have this upcoming course called Nervous System of a Goddess, where we're going to be talking a little of all of these things, but definitely there's going to be nervous system education to understand what signals in your body show you that you're in a state of survival and how to move out of that. And what the best way to do that is. There's so many things you can do on your own. I think getting support is really important if you're dealing with really heavy stuff in the body. But many people are just in a state of chronic fight or flight from just being overworked, from never giving their nervous systems a break. So understanding how to work with the nervous system here to move it biologically out of state of survival will make play and awe and wonder way more accessible. The final one that I came up with was to dress like a butterfly. As always, I think these body-based, spirit-based embodiments are the most important to shift your energy, to shift your state of being, to shift your body language, your voice tone. But once you do that, dressing your body in a certain way is a really important aspect of how you present yourself to the world. And if you're thinking of dressing playfully, think girly rather than seductress. Seductress more has that dark feminine. So think like light, airy colors, flowy fabrics, light, flowy hair. Like, how would wind move through your clothes and body? What sorts of things were you drawn to as a child? I loved like flowers and lace and things like that. So anything that flows, that has movement to it, that has that feeling of being like a butterfly. And creating that playfulness is really important. So it's interesting because as I was writing this, I thought, well, flirty, you can have the tight clothes and the dark eyeliner and like smoky eyes, and that's super flirty, but that's more seductress flirty. Think of this as like innocent flirty, like young girl, just like loving life flirty, like feeling like a princess. Like that's going to be really playful, fun colors, vibrancy. So to recap, and if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any other comments, let me know, because those are the 5 I came up with. And I'll sign off if there's no comments or questions or anything after I recap. The first is evoking awe and wonder at the world around you through presence and through your senses. The second is having a sense of humor about life, about others, about yourself, and also just laughing more and smiling more, just from a genuine place, not plastering on a smile, but laughing and smiling more, just doing what you need to do to make that happen. The third is flirting with the world. So letting the world know you're interested in it, having that body language, the spark in the eyes, the mischievous smile, talking to your environment in your mind and your heart and saying like, I'm open to you, I'm open to you. Fourth is feeling safe and soft, moving out of survival, doing what you need to do to understand your nervous system, to feel safer and to soften. And the fifth is dressing like a butterfly. So dressing in a playful way, feeling playful as you dress, feeling that like young princess energy. If you want support, I offer private coaching, and I will link my 3-session exploratory package below. We can do 3 sessions. I mean, I have 2-month, I have 6-month, but a lot of people really like to start off with that 3-month and just kind of get a feel for how I work and meet me. And then also this course, Nervous System of a Goddess, launches next month. It will be recorded, available for replay this fall, and you can purchase whenever you want. If you do sign up, you get lifetime access to the course dashboard. I'm sure I will add things as my body of work expands. And there's going to be meditations, yoga practices, embodiment practices, and just suggestions for how to bring this learning into your everyday life. I start with the nervous system. Always, always, always. I start in that place of like, can we soften from the inside out, from the body out? And then we can bring in different archetypes of these like feminine poise, feminine playfulness, feminine power, feminine warmth. But we can't access feminine energy if we don't have access to the body. And if we don't have access to the body, it's often we have these like rigid up and in, pulling away from the earth, closed heart. Like there's no point in really talking about archetypes if we're in a state of survival, if we're locked down. So that's it from me. Again, give this video a like, share it. I think next I'll probably talk about feminine lightness, just because it'll be a spin-off of this video. I'm also going to start to share some of my pregnancy journey to give back to other mamas. I watched so many YouTube videos about pregnancy when I was pregnant, and I want to start sharing my embodiment around that because it felt very feminine to me. And I put a poll up on my community tab and asked if you all would be interested in, videos related to mothers and motherhood. And it was literally half and half. So I thought that was interesting. So I think I'm going to try it and see how it goes. If it's not for you, skip it. But you might get something even if you don't have kids or you're not pregnant. Because it's going to be the lessons that I learn are just, they apply towards life too. So, okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.